And welcome to episode whatever it is of our Friday edition of Ripping the Rack podcast. I'm your co-host, Tim.
I'm Brian. What's going on, Tim?
How you doing, bud?
I've had a fun week.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
yeah. Well, we did the interview with Surratt, and again, thanks to Jeff for being on our show. And that was Sunday.
We appreciate that.
And I wasn't feeling well during that. And come Monday morning, I was kind of scared I had the COVIDs. But come Monday morning, found out I have a bacterial infection in my leg. So I've been dealing with that all week and on antibiotics and not bowling. So that's been fun.
Well,
so everybody out there, at least it wasn't the COVIDs. And that's all I got to say about that.
That's all we got to say about that. So, So in this episode, for those four listeners, just so you know, you keep track of what's going on in this episode. Brian and I got some little sports stuff we're going to talk about. And then I came across a list of the top 50 comedians of all time, a Rolling Stone list, and thought we'd go through that because we both are big into comedy. We both love our comedians, and
I do.
And I'd like to talk about this because there's some
shenanigans going on in this list.
Yeah. There's
some good discussion points. Discussion points.
So let's start out with some news here in the world of sports. Welcome back, NBA. That's training.
Welcome back.
Training camp has started.
All these very well-paid athletes are showing up to play some basketball.
Well,
which is always nice.
Well, most of them.
Well, some of them are showing up, as we know. James Harden. I got it right.
Damn you! I was so ready on that one.
Won't show up, or he finally did.
He finally did. Yeah, and now
after mommy defended him on Facebook.
Oh God, it was ridiculous.
You didn't hear? Did you hear about that?
I did, and the fact of the matter is that you're now trying to force
his agent.
I know, and now
you're
trying. That? Yes, I did, and now you're trying to force a trade. This is what I don't agree with the NBA. That the players rule the NBA, and look, in a perfect world, it would be a 50-50. Owners, players, and they would work together. They would create a circle, a never-ending thing. It goes around and around.
It's a circle.
It's a circle.
Not square.
But not square. But you've got owners over here. I'm sorry, governors over here, because you can't say owners because all your owners are here, and all your players are here, and they just want to, keep hitting each other all the time, and it's like, I'm okay with the fact that they're making what they make. I am not one that bitches about them making $30, $40, $50 million a year. I personally don't care what they make. I watch because I enjoy the sport of basketball. I don't necessarily like the brand at the moment, but I like the sport.
Basketball has been hot garbage for about 10 years now. I think the last really true, honest to goodness, fundamentally sound MVP caliber player I saw was Tim Duncan. Honestly, I consider Tim Duncan a classic basketball player.
Yeah, I mean, he's a classic big man. And that's fine.
Bank shots. Yeah,
back to the basket, down low, pop out, things like that. And that's fine. But when James Harden doesn't show up and he is your best player, overrated, I feel, but your best player, and he's off at birthday parties for rappers, and then he's in Vegas at a party, and then he's doing this, and then he's doing that.
Not wearing a mask at either of them, by the way.
I'm sorry, but your team has started. Training camp has started. Your job
You're
has
late for
started.
Your job.
Yes. And
if you and I are 2 days late for a job, do we have a job anymore?
Depends on where we're working. And it depends on who your boss is.
I guess so.
But anyway, I digress. I'm not a James Harden fan. I pray to God he does not come to the Celtics because that would just kill me. But moving on to college football, LSU football, they made the news today. They have self-imposed a 1-year bowl ban.
They did something wrong.
Your reigning national champions will forego participating in a bowl game this year. Let's see, as I click into this. Stemming from the NCAA's investigation into improper booster payments to its football players.
Let me guess, is one of them currently in the NFL?
ESPN reported last month that LSU had self-imposed a loss of 8 scholarships over 2 years, a reduction in recruiting visits, evaluations and communication, and a ban of Cleveland Browns wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. from its football facilities for 2 years.
I heard about this.
I knew that.
Apparently, so apparently, Odell Beckham Jr. was literally at games paying players on the sidelines.
After their national championship game, he gave $2,000 in cash to 4 of the Tigers football players on the field. So yes, and of course they're having a wonderful season this year as reigning national champion at 3-5.
Yeah,
congratulations, LSU.
Can we just pay college football players already?
Well, frankly, we should anyway. They're. So this is where I'm going to go with this next one, and you and I are going to disagree on this one. Ohio State. So the Big Ten, hold on, before you start with your crying emojis and all of that good stuff, hold on. Ohio State, the Big Ten made a rule at the beginning of the year because of COVID that a team had to have 6 countable games. Okay, 6.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State had 5, and they had their Michigan game, which was their last game of the year, this week. The game got canceled due to COVID on Michigan's side, which left arguably one of the best teams in the nation out of the Big Ten championship game and on the outside looking in for the national championship. Mm-hmm. So I'm of the mind, and so what they did was they met today. The Big Ten Board of Governors met today and changed the rule, made it 5 to allow Ohio State into the Big Ten championship game, which is against. Bullshit. So you obviously disagree.
So the rule was made at the beginning of the season. You got to play 6 games.
Yes.
They only played 5.
Okay.
Too bad, so sad. You're out. It sucks. And here's the reason why. BYU had a team cancel on them.
Yep.
Because of COVID.
Yep.
They found another team to play. You're fucking Ohio State. Go find another team to play.
It was not a countable game. The BYU Coastal Carolina game that was put on last, which by the way was a great game.
It was.
And congratulations to both teams because they put that on really, really short notice. And let's face it, when you're talking Division I football at the highest level, that is not easy.
There's a lot of moving parts. I've been a part of that. I've been in that community, not at the, I mean, is Maine considered Division I now? I mean,
no. One A or
1AA.
I still call it Division I AA. They don't. They call it FBS and FCS.
I was part of the team where we were the sacrificial lambs my freshman year at the University of Maine at Orono, and some of the players, I was not. I was a freshman, so I didn't travel at that time. They went to Nebraska.
Yep.
And they played Nebraska. And Nebraska. The prep work for that, work for that was insane. The other, Nebraska literally sent them a binder, and it says, because they paid us to go play them in the first game of the season.
Right. It's right. They have all of those games. They call them basically prepaid wins.
Scrimmages. Yeah.
Until
So
until you're Appalachian State and you beat Michigan,
which was the same year actually.
or you have
They
UMaine beating Mississippi State.
right,
Yeah.
exactly, and they paid us $10,000 to go to Nebraska and get our asses kicked. But they send you a thing that says your flight is this time. You will land here. The buses will pick you up. This is your hotel. Your practice times is this. Everything is laid out. You don't lift a finger.
Right,
and
because
all
they
that
do, they
work
pay
was
for everything.
done.
Right.
Yeah, all that work was done. And from the guys coming back were telling me, yeah, we got our asses kicked, but it was a 5-star catered dinner at a hotel. They ate with the other Nebraska team. Very welcoming.
Yeah.
Like,
so
yeah.
I absolutely commend Coastal Carolina, which, by the way, has come out of fucking nowhere to be a top 20 team in the nation. They've only been what I would call Division 1A school for like 6 years now, 6 to 10 years. Like, it's not long.
Yeah, Maine used to play them in the Colonial Conference when we were 1AA.
So I commend them, but I am going to defend Ohio State in this for a couple of reasons. And and I know you won't. And let me tell you why I'm going to defend them. Number one, yes, they had one game already canceled. This game got canceled too late in the week to schedule another one. The BYU Coastal Carolina, they knew a week and a half in advance that this may happen. So they were able to put it to rest. And they were able to get that scheduled. They found out last night. I think it was last night or this morning. I can't remember what it was.
It was yesterday afternoon.
Yesterday afternoon. So you're already talking Tuesday that the game had been canceled. That is not enough time to reschedule a countable game, because it has to be countable in order to qualify. It can't just be, well, I'm going to throw in, St. Mary's Mothers of the Blind, whatever. So
that sounds like something Ohio State would do.
So I'm not an Ohio State fan. I never have been a Buckeyes fan. I am a Notre Dame fan, always have been. I do like Penn State a little bit. I don't hate the Horns. I mean, I'm not a big. Personally, I'm not a big.
I keep my football in Texas. Everything else stays in New England. I keep my football in Texas.
So I will say what this proves to me with college football and the NCAA is this is not about your student athlete. This is about your athlete and the money that it brings into these schools. Because let's face it, your Big Ten Conference Championship, your National Championship, your playoffs all need your Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson's not. Clemson, and I forget
Oklahoma, Clemson, those type of schools. Yeah.
Yes, they need those because it's billions of dollars of revenue that is made. I hate it, but that is the NCAA. So
you know what? They could have had a game that would have knocked the socks off of everybody. It would have been a great game, and it's close enough where they wouldn't need to travel that far. They should have played Notre Dame.
Notre Dame's got a game this weekend.
But see, they could have canceled that game.
I think isn't this like Notre Dame?
I mean, they change all kinds of rules for Ohio State already. We can change some games around to make it work.
I know you're not an Ohio State fan, and I am not an Ohio State apologist. I am on the side of Ohio State in this one. They do deserve to be in the conference championship game. They are a top 4 team in the nation, arguably the number 1 or 2 team in the nation.
But you know what? They should be used to this because they were undefeated one year and on probation, and they didn't get to play in their national title game.
Right, because they were on probation. This isn't that. This is a different situation. It's the COVID.
Sometimes the best teams don't always get to go to the finals.
It's 2020.
That's how it happens.
It's 2020. It's all fucked up. So
2020 is going to be that new thing, like that's 2020.
Oh, that's so 2020. Yeah, I'm going to miss a shot. I'm going to miss a shot that should have gone. I'll be like, that's so 2020 right there.
No, that's when you leave the back row with no wood. We're going to call that the 2020.
That's the 2020.
Right.
That's the 2020. Yeah. When you bury the pocket and that's what you leave. Definitely.
Hey, some video gaming news, by the way.
Yeah.
Real quick, Cyberpunk comes out tomorrow.
So explain a little bit about Cyberpunk, because I've seen the ads that have Keanu Reeves as
Okay, so
basically as John Wick. Is
No, he's Johnny Silverhand. So
I know, but he's
Cyberpunk. Oh,
no. Go ahead.
okay. So a little background. Cyberpunk is actually based off of an old tabletop RPG from the 80s, kind of Dungeons and Dragons style. And ironically, it was called Cyberpunk 2020, where you played one of the characters was Johnny Silverhand, and he died in that. He was kind of like your guider, and then obviously in all these things like Obi-Wan Kenobi gets killed, and your mentor always ends up something bad happening to him. So fast forward, yada through all this lore. So Cyberpunk 2077. First off, it's a RPG in the style of Skyrim, kind of.
Okay.
And you play as a character you create, obviously. And there's 3 paths you can take right from the beginning. There's a corporate, there's a like a lower level dweller, like a lower city dweller, and then there's a nomad, where you start outside of Night City. The first 2 you start out in Night City, and the nomad you have to travel there. So there's already 3 times you can play that game different already.
Okay.
During this, Johnny Silverhand, because this whole society is about money, status, and robotics upgrades to yourself, making yourself the best you can with like animatronics and stuff like that. So Johnny Silverhand comes to you as a ghost and tries to get you to take down this corporation, and that's kind of the whole way through it. And there's side quests and all that, and I'm excited because it looks so good, and it's done by CD Projekt Red, who did The Witcher 3, and that game is incredible.
Okay.
So I'm looking very much forward to this.
I mean, I'm not I like to play games. I am not a huge gamer anymore. Like for me, I've been playing a lot of 2K21 golf.
Oh, me too.
And I'm the type of guy, and my kids make fun of me. I play video games to have fun. I don't play it to get my ass kicked and everything else. So I play it on normal, some of it easy, some of it normal, because I want to go out and, God damn it, I want to shoot 54 for 18. I want to just.
Yep.
So I have fun with it. It's the same thing when I play like MLB The Show. Same thing. I want to hit 70 home runs. I want to drive in 280 runs. I want to, what I mean? To me, that's fun. I enjoy it. Mm-hmm. For challenges, when I play a game that's challenging, I want to play something like Call of Duty, and I don't play online. I play storylines.
Yeah.
I Grand Theft Auto 5. I can't wait for Grand Theft Auto 6. Far Cry. And the new Far Cry looks phenomenal. I've seen the trailer.
Oh, I can't wait.
It looks great.
Our friend from Breaking Bad is in it. Oh, you haven't got that far into Breaking Bad. Never mind.
No, I again, just another show that I've started. I got a season and a half in, and for some reason I've moved on to another show because my ADD kicks in.
My view on video games is very similar to yours. I have played my share of Dark Souls. I've gotten my ass whooped multiple times, and I've grinded and broke controllers. And when my son was born, I was like, I don't have time to get good anymore at video games. I don't.
Yeah.
And I want to enjoy them. So now I put everything on easy the first time I play something and blast through the story. And if I like it, I'll go back and pick stuff out. I am a story player. I don't play online that much unless it's 2K Golf or something like that, or maybe Smash because I have a Nintendo Switch too. I'm a video game collector, everyone. In case no one was aware, you should see my basement. I'll give us a tour sometime. But the best thing about a video game is it's individual to you. You get to experience the media how you want.
Yeah.
And for me, I want a rich story with good lore and a really good hook.
You know what was fun to me, and this my kids will make fun of me. I remember the old NCAA games on the PS3, I think, or the Xbox 3.
One of those so bad.
Anyway, I would always play as Humane because they sucked. But you know what? I would make my guy like 7'5", who shoots 99% from 3-point line, who could dunk it. I mean, and I'd go out and I'd score 138 points from any place on the floor. And to me, that was because I laugh. I found it funny.
Yep.
But it was fun. But it's fun. I don't play
because you're playing against yourself every game. You're like, can I score more points?
I don't.
It's like in 2K
video
golf.
games.
Can I? My goal right now in 2K golf is I want to shoot. I want to try and get as close to 45 as I can.
Yeah. Now
I have a 48. I have a 48.
I don't play as much. You know, and I play. You know, I set my season up so it's 2 rounds instead of 4. You know, stuff like that.
I play 1 round.
But I just, I play it because you know what? When I play a video game, I'm only playing for 30 minutes to an hour. I'm not grinding out an 8-hour session like I would have, you know, 25 years ago before I had kids.
Right.
And when I was, there was a reason I was single. Jesus Christ, I'd play video games.
Back then it was how many levels of Mario could you beat?
It was back then it was RBI baseball. And I always knew the team. And I always knew the team to pick. You know, it's on the regular Nintendo. It was Legend of Zelda.
Yep.
You know, it was all these games that I like. It was just what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's get into the comedians here.
Yeah.
I know we're coming up on the.
So 2 hunters are in the woods when one of them collapses. Hunting buddy calls 911, says, my friend isn't breathing. He shouts into the phone, what should I do? Relax, the operator tells him, I can help. First, let's make sure he's dead. There's silence, then a gunshot. Guy gets back on the phone and says, okay, now what?
I got one for you.
Okay.
Actually. Guy calls into work. He goes, I can't come in today. I'm very sick. I got shakes and chills. Can't come in. Boss goes, well, I nearly need you today. He goes, when I don't feel good, I see if my wife will have sex with me. And that usually makes things better, and I'll come in. You should try that. 2 hours later, the guy calls back and goes, I did what you said. It was great. I'm going to be into work, and you have a beautiful home.
Yeah. Last one before we jump in. Guy sitting at the doctor's office. Doctor walks in and says, damn, son, I got some bad news. I'm afraid you're going to have to stop masturbating. I don't understand, Doc. Why? Because I'm trying to examine you.
Okay, Brian, you can drink your coffee now.
Yeah. So I'll go through this list. And definitely probably because they did a top 50. We won't spend much time probably on the first 30 because we're probably going to be like, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But like number 50, they had Wanda Sykes. Number 49, number 49, Aziz Ansari.
I like him.
Number 48, Margaret Cho. You know, number 47, Elaine Boozler. Number 40. Nah, she's I'm not gonna say older. Older. She was in the mid to late 80s.
Oh, okay.
She had a pretty good set back in like the mid 80s, stuff like that. I remember her. Number 46, Reggie Watts. Not anyone I really know. Number 45, Freddie Prinze. That's the older one. Not Freddie Prinze Jr.
Younger one.
Not the actor.
Not Can't Hardly Wait. He also wrote for WWE. Look that up sometime.
Really? Freddie Prinze?
Yeah, he was creative. Yeah, Freddie Prinze Jr. He was creative in WWE for a while. Yeah.
Number 44, Russell Peters. Canadian born. For our friends up north.
Hey.
Number 43, Amy Schumer.
She's funny. She steals her material, but she's funny.
I know people don't like her. Like, she's very polarizing. I find her funny.
I do too.
So, number 42, Phyllis Diller. Going way back on her.
Yeah.
41, Bernie Mac.
I liked Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac is funny.
The original Kings of Comedy is one of my favorite stand-up shows.
Yep. Number 40, Gary Shandling.
Dry but funny. Kind of the original, like, yeah.
Like I do have a dry sense of humor, or I can. I mean,
he's great. He's great value Seinfeld.
Yeah. Yeah. Number 39, Moms Mabley. Jackie Moms Mabley. Never heard of this person. Clad in bright, flowery muumuus and floppy hat. Maybe I know.
Sounds like,
I don't know.
Sounds like Tiny Tim.
Oh, you know what? That's going back to the Ed Sullivan Show and Smothers Brothers. Smothers Brothers were funny, by the way. I don't know if you ever listened to them. Funny duo. This is the one I don't agree with. Number 38, Roseanne Barr.
That's way too high.
She shouldn't even be in the top.
Funny.
She should not be in the top 50, in my humble opinion.
I just don't think she's funny.
Nope. And this one's too low, too high. They got Sam Kinison at 37.
Sam Kinnison's funny.
I thought he was a funny dude. And I did not know he was an evangelist. Evangelist. There you go, Tim. Evangelist. Did you know that?
Oh, really? No,
yeah.
I can see that, though.
I had no idea. 38, Daniel Kitson. British
I've heard the name.
Don't know him. Okay, he was before like Mike Birbiglia and Chris Titus.
Oh, I know Chris Titus.
See, Chris Titus is funny. He's a funny dude.
Yeah. He's
not in the top 50, by the way.
That's bullshit. Titus is funny.
Number 35, Tig Notaro.
I thought it was Yim Didero.
Gim Didero. It's our favorite Maine bowler. Rhymes with Gim Didero. 34, Patton Oswalt.
I like Patton Oswalt. I think he's
funny dude. Mm-hmm. Yep, funny dude. Number 33, Janine Garofalo.
I was never a fan. I understand why people find her funny.
Yeah. Again, she's another one.
I don't hate
it, but eh. Number 32, Patrice O'Neill.
He's funny.
He's funny.
He can be.
I don't know if he's number 32, but he's funny.
Yeah.
Number 31, Sarah Silverman.
She is funny. Dry, but funny.
You know.
I like dry humor, though.
Yeah. Number 30 was Woody Allen.
I never saw enough Woody Allen.
Didn't even realize that he was a stand-up comic.
I knew he was a weird dude, but I didn't know he was a stand-up comic.
29, Dick Gregory. Back in the 60s and 70s. Mm-hmm. Early, 28, Robert Klein. I liked him. He was funny. I mean, granted, it was back in the 70s and 80s that he was, 70s and early 80s. Some of the stuff that I listened to, he was pretty good. Number 27, Red Fox.
Red Fox was funny.
Funny dude. Funny dude.
Dummy. Dummy. Dummy.
This one I think is wrong. I think he should be higher. Number 26, Rodney Dangerfield.
That's no respect.
No respect. He gets no respect. No, I think he should.
Hilarious.
I think he should have been top 20.
Give me one of those. Give me one of those. Give me one of those.
This one.
Oh, and give my partner some naked lady tees.
This one,
bowl of soup with that hat. Looks great on you, though.
I would argue this. He is one of my all-time favorite comedians to listen to. Eddie Murphy, they had at number 25. So wrong.
Way too long.
So wrong.
Just Raw and
oh my God, Raw and Delirious were two of the all-time best stand-up routines.
I want you to find the suit he wore in Delirious, and I want you to wear that for a podcast. That purple leather.
I might have. I could wear my MC Hammer outfit that I wore 2 years ago to our.
I saw that.
Yeah, I might wear that sometime. But Eddie Murphy at number 25 is just wrong.
That's a crime. Yeah.
24 was Eddie Izzard.
Not.
I'm not a. I mean, I've heard of him. Don't know enough about him. Yeah. This is another one I would argue is way too low. Don Rickles at number 23.
I don't know enough Don Rickles. The only time I saw Don Rickles was he was at the Lobster Festival, and he was like 80-something.
Don Rickles, go down the rabbit hole on YouTube with Don Rickles. He is a master roaster.
He's a roaster, right? Yeah.
He did it without profanity. He was phenomenal. And you could go down a rabbit hole and spend hours on YouTube watching the old Friars roasts of Frank Sinatra and all of that. Don Rickles. Martin. Yes. Don Rickles should definitely be top 20 because unbelievable. Yes. I'm telling you, nice. Go down the rabbit hole because amazing. Jonathan Winters at 22. He was Robin Williams' idol, basically. This was the guy
pretty good.
This was the guy that basically he was Robin Williams before Robin Williams. Imagination, voice, just everything.
Wow.
Fun. Number 21, Bob Newhart.
That's good. Bob Newhart.
I like Newhart. Number 20, this is where it gets a little interesting. Number 20, Mitch Hedberg.
I love Mitch Hedberg. I think 20 is a good spot for him, honestly. I saw Mitch Hedberg and Stephen Lynch my freshman year of college at the State Theater in Portland, and I have never laughed so hard in my life. And Mitch Hedberg put on one hell of a show, and he was gone. He showed up on stage, and you could tell he was higher than a pterodactyl's tit, but he was funnier. Than hell.
So I'm a big anyone that can deliver a line.
But it's the same thing. It's dry, and I love it.
But the lines were funny. Like they mentioned this. Like when I was a boy, I laid in my twin size bed and wondered where my brother was. I'm sorry, that shit's funny. Like it makes you think, but it's funny. You know,
he does a cool thing where he's like, everyone knows what a sesame seed is, but what the fuck is a sesame? It's a street. It's a word that opens things, but I've never seen one.
The whole, every book is a children's book if a kid can read. It's so yeah. I think that's good. Albert Brooks at number 19.
I love Albert Brooks.
I do. This one's interesting to me because I think he's arguably one of the top comedians of the day now. At number 18 is Kevin Hart. I like Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart's funny, but I'm not a giant Kevin Hart guy. I know that's weird. I
like Kevin Hart. I'm okay with him at 18. I would have been okay with him at 25 because he's still going. I would have been okay. You know what I mean? Somewhere in that 15 to 30 range would have been a good spot because, again, he's still growing. Number 17, Bill Burr.
Bill Burr's really funny. You have to be.
Oh, my God.
You have to have a certain type of skin to listen to Bill Burr.
Which is one of the best things about him. He just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Number 16, Billy Connolly. Older. I think that was in the, I want to say he was 80s and 90s, I think. Yeah. Number 15, Stephen Wright.
I put spot remover on my dog and he disappeared.
I was gone.
I love dry humor, so Stephen Wright is hilarious to me.
I named my dog Stay. Come here, Stay. Come here, Stay. And he, just I put a telescope on my door so I
He's
could
a
see
Mitch
who's
Hedberg
coming.
guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Number 14 was Andy Kaufman.
I never really got into Andy Kaufman. Taxi, he was funny in Taxi.
Yeah. Number 13, Bill Hicks. He was
Don't know.
late 80s into 90s. I just don't know him enough to judge. This one pisses me off. Literally pisses me off right here at number 12. How the fuck do you have Robin Williams not in the top 10? Not in the top 5.
Fuck?
They got him at number 12.
Robin Williams is arguably the greatest stand-up. Robin Williams from Madison Square Garden in about 2003, I think, is arguably the funniest thing I've ever seen. There's two bits. Obviously, the golf bit.
Yep.
It's just... But there's a bit near the end where he describes what a penis feels like putting a condom on.
Yeah.
And it brings tears when I watch it laughing. He's a genius man, and he was so funny.
Yep. I argue that one. Number 11 was Steve Martin. Again, funny dude.
I never found Steve Martin that funny, honestly.
You know what? I think because he was more of the 60s and 70s from his stand-up.
I liked him on SNL.
Yeah,
when he's been on there.
He was funny. Yeah. Number 10, Mort Saul. Like, I don't even know the dude.
No.
1960s, I guess. I don't know.
He's ahead of Robin Williams?
They got him at number 10. I don't know.
Hey, let me do the Kermit the Frog face here. That's none of my business.
Number 9, Dave Chappelle.
I love Chappelle.
I love Chappelle.
I don't agree with his decisions he makes about his career, but the man puts out funny shit.
He's a funny dude.
He's arguably the most real comic you'll see.
Yep. Number 8, Bill Cosby. So
don't let him make you drink. Our bowling team name one year in the summer was Bill Cosby Made Our Drinks.
Oh my God. So here's what I'll say about Bill Cosby, the comedian. As a stand-up comedian, as a comic, as a storyteller, whatever you wanted to call him, he deserves to be top 10. He was He's a funny dude.
Very funny stand-up comedian.
Without profane, without, what he did on the behind the scenes. I mean, hey.
At least he was clean on stage.
He was clean on stage. Number 7, Jerry Seinfeld.
Love Jerry Seinfeld.
I gotta be honest. I'm not a Jerry fan.
You didn't like the show, did you?
I didn't. Oh well,
I love
the show was okay. Like I was a Cheers.
Frasier? You like Frasier?
Frasier was good. And I like Frasier. I like Frasier because again, it was a spinoff from Cheers.
I've never watched an episode of Cheers.
Really?
Really?
I love Cheers.
Cheers and MASH I've never seen. I've been told
MASH I've seen every episode, is one of the greatest shows arguably out there. Fantastic show. Loved MASH. Number 6.
Real quick about Seinfeld though. If you want to laugh, honestly, have a little bit and get kind of the highlights of all there's a special called I'm Telling You for the Last Time, and it's his last stand-up special he did from Madison Square Garden. So it's kind of all his best bits, and it's really good. It's funny. So if you,
I lost my
you lost the list?
I lost. Yep, got it back.
Okay.
Number 6, Joan Rivers. I just wasn't a Joan Rivers fan. I know she was popular. I know she was a really great stand-up comedian, arguably one of the best female comedians. I just wasn't a fan of her comedy.
Yeah.
Number 5, Chris Rock.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Chris Rock, Bigger and Blacker was one of my favorite things to watch.
Yep. I was a fan. I am a fan of Chris Rock. I like it. This one is interesting to me at number 4. Louis C.K.
Way too high. Louis C.K. is not funny. I'm sorry. Louis C.K. is not funny.
I mean, the funny one that I can remember was his whole skit and his whole thing about imagining his wife giving him the saddest hand job in America. And I about fucking
But
lost.
he used to do that to himself.
I know. I'm just saying.
No, he's way too high.
Lenny Bruce at number 3.
Don't know a whole lot about that, but
well, he's been dead 50 plus years. So number 2, George Carlin.
Will always be number 1 in my book. Love George.
I saw George. I saw him live in Vegas in 2000. Still one of the top comedic shows I've ever seen. Fantastic. Number 1, Richard Pryor.
Those two, honestly, could be interchangeable to me.
Yep.
Because they actually were friends. Yep. And what's funny is that George Carlin does a bit, and I'm sure you've heard it, but he's like, me and Richard Pryor go back and forth. I had a heart attack. He had a heart attack. So I had another heart attack. Couldn't let him outdo me. Then he had another one. So I had one. And then he set himself on fire. So I had another heart attack.
So I like the list. There are some interesting.
So I have 2 that I think people should know about, and they're both female comedians. They're very, very funny. My wife has showed me both of them. One is Ali Wong. If you haven't watched Ali Wong on Netflix,
okay,
it's funny. One's called Baby Cobra, and then there's the second one. I can't remember what it's called, but she's actually pregnant during both of them. And for those out there, your children should not watch this. She's very dirty. One of the things that she talks about her nipples and how after she breastfeeds, they look like little fingers. And it's like, you owe me money. They're just pointing at people. And then the second is Eliza Schlesinger. She is hilarious.
Okay.
She has a few Netflix specials, and they're all funny. So those 3 people should check out, definitely.
I love comedians. Like, I could go to small stand-up shows, and my wife and I did. We went out when we were in Vegas last year. We went to the Rio and went to the Comedy Cellar. And,
that's what I want to do when I go to Vegas.
We decided, it was decided at noon. I was like, we got nothing going on tonight. I'm like, I want to go to a comedy show. We're in Vegas. I want to go to a comedy show. So she was like, all right. So I'm looking up and I'm like, oh, God, I don't want to pay $70 a ticket and go to Brad Garrett's, comedy show at MGM. I'm like, I'm not into paying.
It's not even that funny. Yeah, it's Brad Garrett. I mean, he's funny on Everybody Loves Raymond, but.
So the Comedy Cellar gets really great reviews, and a lot of comedians go there. And I'm like, look, we can get VIP tickets for $25. I'm like, the hell, let's do it.
Why not? Yeah.
So we did it, and we got seated front row, center stage, literally a small little table.
Let me tell you something. When you're this big, you don't sit anywhere where the guy can see you.
So
because you become material at that
point. Oh no, it gets good. So we sit down, and my wife looks at me and she goes, "Oh, this is not going to be good. You're in prime stage to try to get in on this." So, and because let's face it, I like to think of myself as a funny dude. Like, at times I am very funny.
What do you mean funny? How? Like a clown? Like I make you laugh?
Like I amuse you. So we sit down and the show starts. The MC comes out, does a 5-minute little bit. We're laughing. And the first comedian comes out, and he's like right in front of us. Literally, my feet are on the stage, like just resting, just on the front of the stage. And he's standing there and literally looks down at me and Angie and says, I forget now, like where you from, blah, 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 whatever. And I tell him, and he's like, he was going on a bit about milk for some reason. And he was like, I said, I don't drink milk. And he looks, he goes, what? And I looked at my wife and said, she won't let me. And the dude, you could see his eyes just went, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
And he proceeded to just, why don't you let him drink milk, ma'am? What do you have against him drinking milk, man? And just going on. Well, I'm lactose intolerant. Like, I have milk and I got to shit like within 30 seconds. Like, it's bad. So it was just, oh my God. I laughed. Laughed. So a couple of my comedians that I would watch now, and then we'll wrap up because we've gone way over what we would normally do on a Friday.
But then Bob Marley needs to be on that list.
I was just gonna say. So
Okay.
Those of us in the Northeast, pretty much everyone knows who Bob Marley is. Not the singer, not the reggae singer, but Bob Marley, the comedian.
The actor. He was in Boondock Saints.
He was in Boondock Saints. The dude is an amazing comedian. And I've seen him live, and I would pay money to see him live again because I physically hurt leaving. My gut hurt from laughing so much because...
And it's new material every time you see him.
He tells relatable stories about his parents, about his kids, about everything's relatable. And if you follow him on like Facebook and stuff, like
he does a Corona update like every day.
Oh my God. Hey, Bob. Yeah, Bob. This is Uncle
Bobby. Bob.
Oh my God.
Bobby, we're quarantining.
But if you watch him when he was on, when he was on Johnny Carson or when he was on, any of the late shows, his comedic material is not with a main accent, and it's not. He tailors it from where
his crowd.
Oh my God, it's amazing. Jimmy Carr.
Oh.
I am a huge Jimmy Carr fan. He is a funny dude. Nothing is off limits because that's my style of comedy. If you're gonna laugh, or if you're gonna tell jokes, then really nothing should be. Everything should be in play, in my eyes.
There are some things that shouldn't be in play.
I think we know.
I'll preface it with that.
I think we know some of the shit I send you is a little bit on the dark side.
Right. Okay. Yes, John Brown of the Beaver Band. Yeah, Dark Side. Yeah.
Dark Side's coming now. Nothing is real. So anyway, that's the list. As always, Ripping the Rack podcast at gmail.com, Ripping the Rack podcast at Facebook, Ripping the Rack podcast on YouTube, and where else?
Ripping the Rack podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Anchor, Breaker, everywhere else you listen to your lovely podcasts. Check myself out every Sunday night on Twitch on Johnny Deathdrop's channel. It's John Starner. We do Dudes and Belts Wrestling Chatcast. This week we're covering the Monday Night Wars and DX. So all the wrestling fans, check in for our commentary on DX back in the 90s.
All right. Check them out. Give them a listen. They're okay.
Yeah, we're not bad.
I listen. I chime in on chat when I can.
It's Timmy Vader.
Yeah, Timmy Vader. It's Timmy time. So anyway, thank you guys. Have a great weekend. As always, check us out Tuesday morning. That will be all Candlepin Bowling all the time.
And we have another guest.
We do have another guest. Let's keep it a surprise for now. But we do have another guest. We do have another guest. So appreciate it. Guys, have a great weekend, and we will be back soon.
Peace out.